we're going to start today's thing by designating a building that we ought to have done previously. It's called a trade depot or depot. It's going to be stuck close out in front, and we're going to build it of wood. There it is. So now whenever somebody decides that we're worth trading with, they can come and trade with us. We'll be able to do that. We're going to unsuspend this. Oh, hey, it's not even suspended. The bridge is set to be built if there's an architect. We don't know if there is. We're going to try loading Dwarf Therapist and hope it works. Look at that, it did. Is there an architect? Ooh, Dwarf Therapist, is there an architect? Yes, there is. Okay. So the next task, well, one thing that needs to be done is to make some goblets. Our dwarfies are upset. There are no goblins. No, they're happy there's no goblins. They're sad there's no goblets. So activate. We'll toss in a new order. We'll say goblet. But they're not actually called goblet. They're called cup. Make wooden cup. We have like 16 dwarves. Each order of cups makes 3. 16 divided by 3 is just over 5. So let's make 7 orders of goblets just to be on the safer side. And then they can all be happy and drinking from cups or mugs instead of complaining about it. Autumn has come. Time is passing quickly in this fort. We've just paused it. Autumn means that the dwarves will arrive soon, the dwarven merchants. So it may be wise for us to begin producing metal. We don't have metal yet. We do have a couple smelties, wood furnaces, but the architect is busy and they have not been designated yet. Our architect, checking our handy-dandy dwarf therapist, is by the name of, drumroll, Aban Ebal Tolseed. That's our farmer. Our farmer would be understandably busy. Now perhaps there's someone who's not so busy, one of the newer migrants. Let us make it one of those new migrants who is an armorer. So that's either Kosath Gusilmuthkat or Dodok Evost Datan. And we think Dodok is the one who's going to do this because Dodok has been unassigned from armoring. Yes, that's correct. So Dodok will be our new architect, our secondary architect. And hopefully Dodok will build the smelters. In addition to smelters, we need to make actual smelters because the smelters that we have are not smelters, they are wood furnaces. So the smelters shall go over here down by the underground where all the metal is at. So let us designate a zone. 2 smelters will be adequate for our starting needs. We'll give them a nice little entrance there. Make a nice symmetrical entrance. And would you look at that, it's designated. The miner's already going to mine that. Magnificent. Is someone going to build these already? Architecture, active, no. Our secondary architect we just said was Dodok. And Dodok is out here, storing item in stockpile. Look at them go. Storing more. No job, pending pasturing a rooster. Oh, and they are going to construct the buildings. Now we don't actually have anyone set for wood burning. Wood burning is the crucial thing. Last time we thought we were setting somebody for wood burning when we were actually setting them for smelting, aka furnace operating. So we just need to find wood burning in the endless list. It's under farming. So it's under farming. So if we were to look at a dwarf, we go into their preferences, PL, so first V to open this menu, PL to open this, and then we look to the farming, and as you can see, wood furnacing, wood burning, there it is. Oops, not so making, wood burning. But we're not going to assign it from there. We're going to assign it from Dwarf Therapist because we are going to pick somebody who is not busy. That's harder than it sounds. Who isn't assigned to a task? We've got, oh goodness. Let's look at the list of dwarves. Who's not busy? Our Metalcrafters not doing anything. and our blacksmith too. So to start with, they shall be our people who burn wood and make charcoal. Okay, blacksmith is a wood burner. Yes, and metal crafter. You too can be a wood burner. Not metal smithing, but farming. So we ended up doing it the normal way instead of using Dwarf Fortress, Dwarf Therapist, because it's more graphical and visible. But there you go. So we're going to build a couple smelters, BE for the furnace and smelter. Toss this little smelter in there. Let's make them marble because they are prestigious, although we shouldn't really waste our marble. Anyways, need to carve a little more space out there for the second smelter. Oh, the miners are eagerly heading over to mine it. Let's watch them go. Dum dum dum, tink tink tink, do the mine. And now we build our second smelter. But we don't actually have anything to fuel it yet, as these two buildings have to be architected. This one's been architected, needs a mason. This one needs architecture. Who is our mason? We have a dedicated mason. This one, they're storing a thing in a stockpile. Let's see what it is. It looks like they're going to load the wood into the wood pile. A noble task. It needs done, but we don't want them to do it too much. So perhaps we will tell them to quit it. Moldath, you're too important for hauling for now. No more haul. Moldath has been unassigned from hauling and will finish the first current hauling job first and then run off to construct the building. And you know what? Let's make Moldath an architect too, just to speed things along. Moldath is now an architect. We'll watch them build the building. Look at them go. Now all that wood that's outside is going to become super valuable. In fact, we'll make a little wood area right there. Or perhaps a better spot would be right there. It's a cool little wood stockpiling area. Miners have been ordered to do the wood stockpile. Moldath is going to build our second wood furnace. And the miners have finished, so we will assign the wood pile. This is our second wood pile. It's going to go from here to here. And this is called the wood for charcoal. It has been named. Now some poor hapless dwarf can carry wood into this pile. And while we're at it, oops, we went into the wrong view there. We are going to go, not designate, but stockpiles. We're going to make this stockpile a bit smaller. The wood one outside, so they don't waste quite so much time getting wood for the carpenters. Carpenters can get their own wood. Yep, they're not that important. But this here, this is important. This is going to be a bars and blocks stockpile. This is going to be where we keep our charcoal pile. So it shall be named charcoal, and it shall contain bars and blocks, but only of a certain type. So first we be block all, then we look at other materials. We say coal, allow coal, and now it's going to hold nothing but coal. In fact, let's call it coal, not charcoal. This will even hold the coal that's of the other type, the type that comes from a smelter. Now that makes us think perhaps the stockpile for the coal should be farther over, closer to the smelter, so that they don't run it all the way over. Let's just do that. So we're gonna make another stockpile zone here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. And then we're gonna load our macro to quick dig a room and play the macro. So just let them dig out this little room here, nice and quick. So this is gonna be the actual coal stockpile. And this here can be our backup coal stockpile. But for now, we're going to disable it because we do not want such a pile right in that location. X, remove, do that. There they go. Now, because we keep setting it to high priority, the miners are furiously working at it. But we are actually getting to the point where we can start producing charcoal. So let's do that. make charcoal. Perpetual order. Just make all the charcoal you can. And smelters, yeah, our faithful mason architect is creating 2 smelters. And while we're at it, let's dig out the actual metal smithing shops. So they shall be at the top edge here. Let's put them over here. Oh, this is charcoal, actually. So let's put them up here. So we'll have, like, the metal is going to be smelted there inside the smelters, and then it's going to be carried up through these sort little doorways up to the crafting stations. Which, for the beginning, we should start with, let's just start with all types, all 4 types. So we're going to do just weapons and armor, we'll do all 4. So that's enough room for 4 stockpiles there, and then we'll do another stockpile room. This one's going to be lower priority, so we'll make it 3. They can do it after this other stuff is dug. And this one is going to be where we store our smelted metal. So perhaps it should even go in between, have like smelters here, smelted metal pile, and then workshops. But the workshops need access to the fuel too. So we'll just throw the smelted pile over to the side for now. This feels a little careless, but it's going to work. There. Designating stockpile area. So this one's the nothing pile for now. This one is the charcoal pile, and this one at the top left is the smelted metal pile. And then this square block above is going to be full of workshops for working that metal. And we note that this actually needs to have an entrance. There is the entrance. This looks pretty perfect. We'll throw another entrance there. That'll give the smelter guys easy access and the metal guys easy access. And then we'll want even more stuff dug out, but to hold the worked metal once it's made into armor, etc. Since we're just looking out here for a second, let's check on the animals. Random diversion. Yeah, they've eaten all the grass off this dirt. They just might need a bigger pasture, that's all. But they still have dense grass. Let's see. Yeah, there's dense grass in their pasture. They're fine. They're fine. They're not going hungry. These fields are... Oh, these are the outside fields. Yes, these fields are good. What's with this field, though? It's autumn. Probably it's the sweet pot field, yeah. So the sweet pot field's fallow in autumn. Dimple cup field is going strong. Quarry bush, we're out of seeds because probably the dwarves keep eating them. Oh, he's building the bridge. Look at that. Or the bridge is built. Magnificent. This is the bridge. Rough marble bridge. Now, this is vital to our fort security. So we shall set it up. This is inactive, needs mechanics. Who's our mechanic? We're just going to glance over at Dwarf Therapist for a moment and find our mechanic. We have a level 1 mechanic named Olan Athabsalab, who's also a plant gatherer. That's the problem. We don't really want them to be doing that because they're busy out in the field. So they're going to be turned off from that. Moldath, our faithful building guy, is going to be set to mechanics. Let us commit the changes. Now, we did that through Dwarf Therapist, so you won't see it, but we can actually check it through Moldath. And this will show that Moldath has been enabled to do the vital task of mechanics. And as you can see, it's white, it's enabled. So Moldath, any moment now, should begin going to do the mechanics thing. Once he is done with his current task. We're watching him build one of our smelters. Looks like he's already built the other smelter. And there he goes to construct building. This building he's constructing is the lever. He's grabbed a mechanism, he is building the lever, and it's built. Now, this is going to be the door. Door closing, door blocking, bridge, lever, door, bridge, lever. Let's call it security door. So this is our security door lever. We are going to link it up to the bridge. Right there, a sign. And we're going to use just some mechanisms that we have. Doesn't matter which ones. That task has been assigned. Now this lever will be linked to the bridge, so then we can close the bridge, quote unquote close. We can raise the bridge so that it becomes a blocking wall. And this is going to be called a security door also. So we have security door the lever and security door the bridge. Yeah, lever. There they go. Now, do we have 2 dwarves burning wood? Because we want to have 2 dwarves burning wood and 2 dwarves smelting. We do have 2 dwarves burning wood, Sodel, Nilus Mafal, and Stodir Gatizasab. So that would be our blacksmith and Metalcrafter. Do we have anybody who's not busy? Anybody who can afford, who can spare a moment to do some smelting? The miners? No, they're busy. Moldat the mason? Actually, Moldat the mason can spare a moment. We'll set him to furnace operating. Let's do it through this UI so it's more fun. So we'll go to Moldath. Oops, we'll press Z to go to Moldath. We'll go to metalsmithing, furnace operating. Moldath is officially a smelter, in addition to his many other tasks. Something has happened. Aha, the Dwarven caravan has arrived and bypassed our inaccessible site. Do we not have a trade depot? No, we don't. Our carpenter's busy. Well, that's a problem. It's not super urgent, but it is somewhat urgent. So let's just follow the carpenter for a quick moment. Constructing a wooden bin, that's not what we want, because we want them to do the other thing. Just quickly checking if this is also a carpenter. It is not. So our one carpenter has to build us a trade depot. So we will set them to quit carpenting for the moment, and we'll remember, we will make a note. This humble dwarf does not have that good of a memory. So they will make a note saying, Idem no kimlurit, back on carpentry after trade topo built. And yes, carpentry is deassigned. Now they do their thing. Let's follow the carpenter and see if they actually do the important task after finishing building this bin. No job, store item. That's not what we want. Perhaps we should turn them off hauling too. We'll let them haul this one log. No job. What you doing? Designed, needs carpentry. Okay. Oh, they need carpentry, of course. So we can't unassign them from carpentry. So we put them back on carpentry. And in order to stop carpentry from taking away their work, well, we can let them go about their business for a moment. Hope they do the right thing, but if they make another bucket, oh, okay. Okay, we're gonna just quickly make sure that they have nothing to do. That is nothing except for building the trade depot. So we're gonna cancel these orders to make wooden things. And then we're gonna watch this dwarf. They're gonna finish the bucket, and then if we're lucky, they'll build the trade depot. First of all, this dwarf wants to talk to us a bit, so we're going to just discuss with them, and we're going to tell them what we want. There's one thing that we really want, and that is cages. Why do we want cages? Well, because cages sometimes contain animals. And as you may have noted, this fortress does not have any cats. We neglected to bring cats. Oops. Well, we told them to just bring cages, but that'll do. That'll do. So let's mess with some settings for a second. Okay. Now, they're going to tell us what they want from us. What do they want, you say? Handware, goblets, the things with the green green color and the O is far to the right is what they most want. So they really want some thread, some headwear, some handwear. Did I say handwear? Yeah. Handwear, thread, and that, and also some random stuff. Crowns, crutches. We can make some crutches. We shall take some notes of what they want. Handwear, headwear, crutches. It doesn't usually matter because there's some things we can make that are just brokenly appealing to them, namely large metal serrated discs. But we don't actually have the metal production to make those yet, so maybe we won't. Let's see what our carpenter does. First of all, we need them to make the trade depot. Make wooden barrel. But didn't we tell them to stop making stuff? We did. Odd. These still have tasks. So we'll just cancel those tasks. This can even be canceled. Okay, now no job, construct building. That's the task we wanted to see. So now we can reactivate all those tasks. Back to making who knows how many. Bin 20 and bucket 20. And this humble dwarf realizes they have not been checking the Twitch chat in case there was even somebody talking. Lord above. Aha! We have a hello from Barbara. Isn't that nice? Well, back to the game at hand. Back to the work of the dwarves. So they're going to do their thing. The trade depot appears to be built already. That's usually good. But do we have anything to trade? Let us see our stocks. Let us see if the dwarves are even coming to trade with us. So to do that, we can go to the announcements, which is A. And then look at this thing in Z for zoom. And we see the dwarf caravan members are here. They are no longer in the corner. Indeed, they are moving. They're leading their yaks, that is, towards our base. Now we must trade some stuff. So what do we have to trade? We have food. Do we have enough food? We have 700 drinks, so we can just give them some drinks. What else can we give them? Some bins. We have really not been crafting things to trade, which is fine. We shall tell our smelters to smelt all the ore. There's got to be a better way to do it, but this works. Smelt garnierite, smelt native gold. What's galena ore? What's sphalerite ore? Let's do the important ore. Tetrahedrite. Both do tetrahedrite because that's iron. Does anybody know what sphalerite is? Sphalerite. To the wiki. Dwarf Fortress wiki. Was that a baby cow? It was a baby sow. Barbara asks, a sow is a piglet. So we'll soon have lots of delicious piglets growing up on our place that we can harvest. So sphalerite ore. Sphalerite is zinc. Zinc is not especially valuable. We can also make brass bars, electrum bars, and billen bars. Brass is not that great. Bronze is decent, but we don't need to bother with those things. So what's the garnierite? Well, since we've got it going, garnierite is nickel. What's nickel for? Who knows? So we're not going to bother with garnierite. We'll do native gold though, what we have of it. And then we'll officially have some metal being produced. And we should set our bar stockpile down here to hold, this was where the fuel was going to go. So we'll make this our fuel coal. And it's going to have its settings set, so the bars block all, and just other materials, coal. So that's our coal pile. Once they finish digging that, we can start making some actual metal crafting stations. Let's just start them now. Build, workshop, is it a workshop? It's a forge, but it might be listed under workshops. There's just one kind of forge, Metalsmiths forge. And we have only one anvil, but we make one forge to start with. We'll make it out of gabbro, that's fine. And that will let us start making another anvil and then making whatever else. So we should probably begin trading, or else these dwarven merchants will be very disappointed in us. So let us move goods to the depot. What do we even have to trade, you say? We can trade away some of our excess alcohol. Not that there ever is such a thing as excess alcohol in Dwarf Fortress, but we'll trade some alcohol anyway. Just some random barrels. It would actually be smart to view them, see how much they have in them. So like this one's just 20 cherry wine, which is a pretty good amount. That's only 5. 5, 15, 5. Let's do the 15. Cherry wine. We have a lot of cherry wine. 10. 70. It's cherry wine. Our dwarves love producing cherry wine. That's good. Any kind of wine is good wine. A little dwarven wine. We want to keep variety for ourselves though. So, because our dwarves like to drink all kinds of different liquor. We'll start with that. See what that can get us. We have a steel battle axe. That's got to be worth something. But we kind of need it to chop trees. Although, we can always make another battle axe when we need to chop some trees. We've got metal now. Just so long as we don't run out of coal, charcoal, and forget to make another axe. It's risky. Let's do it. We better make a note about that. Make an axe! Okay, the note has been made in all caps. Make an axe. Yeah, we're not seeing a whole lot else to trade there, so we'll start with that. We will call the trader to the depot. Well, let's let the dwarves come closer to us first. Where are those traders? Oh, and this is a good time to actually look at the animals that are out there, because we hadn't done that before. So there's 3 wild animals out there, and they're somewhat alarming. There's a giant mosquito. Something tells this humble dwarf that that could suck all the blood out of one of our citizens, if it had a mind to. A huge monster in the shape of a mosquito, black chitin and black eyes. There's also a giant rattlesnake. Let's try not to disturb that, and a Tearsal peregrine. That's not scary. Let's go to the rattlesnake. Where is it? It's not even far. It's like just at the lower end of our wood harvesting zone. Well, hopefully that doesn't cause any trouble. But we'll do what we came here for, and we'll look at the merchant, see where they are. They indeed are making their way to our base place. The base place, they're unloading, and our dwarves are loading some of our own stuff in. It's a good thing. Engaging in trade, we better call our person. Did we call them? Trader has been requested. Our trader will now make their way to the outpost. These couple dwarves will burn some wood. Is anybody smelting? Do we have 2 smelting? Sorry, we have to double check this. Furnace operating. We're just looking at dwarf therapists for a moment here. There is only 1 furnace operator set. We were thinking Moldath could be the second. Because although Moldath does many things, Moldath often doesn't have anything to do. So, because it's all like occasional things. So Moldath's going to be a furnace operator, aka smelter as well. And we're going to save that change over to Dwarf Fortress through Dwarf Therapist. It's done. So Moldath is now a smelter too. And he should be going over to do some smelting momentarily. Meanwhile, it looks like all the dwarves have finished bringing things to the depot. Nobody's bringing items to depot. So we're ready to trade. Let's go to the unit. Who's the trader? They are at the... Oh, they just went to go eat. If we had paused, we could have traded there. We just missed them. So as soon as Abba and Ibalto Cid is done eating, they'll head back to the depot. Okay, now we can trade. Let us see what they have brought us. Let us see what our stuff is worth, first of all. You see the steel battle axe. That was probably a good thing to be trading because it's worth 1,000. More than all our cherry wine combined. So what have they brought us? Sards. What are sards? That must be a gem. Glass. Glass is good to have on hand. just in case one of our dwarves goes mad and starts asking for glass, or else they'll, we don't want them to actually go mad. If they get glass, they'll be good if they need it. If they don't get glass, they could very well go mad and make us very unhappy. What's a kivish? It's a musical instrument. Let's see what it looks like. It's made of muskox bone. It has a yoke, so it's a stringed instrument. Let's see, is it plucked or what? It's plucked with a plectrum, which is a pick. 13 strings, so it's like a 13-string guitar. Made of bone. Strings from spider silk. The plectrum is anhydrite, which must be an ore. It's got tuning pegs, it's got a 4-octave range, a harsh, wispy timbre, so it sounds harsh and wispy. A stringed instrument that sounds harsh and wispy. I kind of want one of those. Our dwarves would enjoy having some music, and it's cheap. That's the best reason to get it. So what do they have in cages? They have a rabbit, a goat, a ewe, which is a sheep, some ale. So there's no cats. We were hoping they might have cats, but that was a very long shot. We want to give the trader a good profit, and we want to get some useful stuff. We're not going to bother getting weapons from them. What can we bother with? Alcohol is sometimes worth it. We're giving them alcohol, so it seems kind of wrong to trade alcohol for alcohol. Perhaps if they had a different kind of alcohol that we don't have. I don't see much exotic though. Dwarven ale. Dwarven ale, dwarven ale. Nope, nothing too special there. They have axes, swords, don't need any of that. Socks would be nice, but these are too good quality. Yeah, this sock is finally crafted. It's dyed. It's adorned with hanging rings of realgar and an image of a coffin. Who decorates a sock with an image of a coffin? And a tree. Wow, the tree is made of muskox hoof. That is one fancy sock, and it is much fancier than our dwarves. But we would like to get some leather, perhaps. Some more leather. Some cloth. Because these things are a bit of a pain for our dwarves to produce. Give us some cloth. Give us the cheap cloth bin. What is that? Trader profit of 1,000. We want to give the trader a good profit, as you can see at the bottom. High profit makes the traders happy for some reason. And it seems to be worth it to us. We could buy an anvil. We're not going to because we can make our own. What else? Thread is alright. Thread is basically just like an ingredient in making cloth. Although it's also used in medical purposes. So we'll buy a little thread. And again, it's not super convenient to make. Good to buy the things that are not convenient to make. And let's get some food. They have some different foods. And those actually will give us seeds, which we can use to plant those same foods in our greenhouse. Ooh, lead bars. Okay, so we've looped around. Trader's getting a good profit. Let us trade, they say. Indeed, let us trade. Ah, wonderful, say the dwarves. They thank us for our business. And indeed, we are done trading. So the trader is no longer requested, and Aban Ebalto Cid can go back to gender. Ban Ebalto Cid, revered armors, can go back to her work. Farming, primarily. Goodness, what is happening with these dwarves? What else is happening with these dwarves? Well, we've got our first metalsmith's forge. Oh, not quite yet. Needs any metalsmithing. So, where's our armorer who's an actual armorer and not working as a smelter? That'd be Kosith Kusamuthkat, and indeed, they seem to be going to do the building that we need. This is a good sign, a good thing. And we've almost finished out the metal stockpile area too. Finished digging it out, that is. As soon as this area is finished digging, then we can begin, we can designate it. So now we can designate this area. This is our metal stockpile. May as well set it to bar block now, so there they go. That's going to be for metal, and we're going to go to the settings and call it metal bars. Settings, bars blocks indeed, but not just all bars. Blocks, block all, permit metal. And that should do it. There's no other special things we'd want there. Nope, we don't. Oh, actually, we might want to include like our economic stone, that is our marble, which is used in making steel. Let's just make a little stockpile for the marble. That'll take out part of the metal stockpile. So we'll make this corner, no, this bottom left corner will be the marble stockpile. So we go P, we're already in P. So we go S, P is for stockpiles, and then S is for stone. So we make a little stone pile, and then we go flux stone. That's what marble is called. That's a fancy name for marble. So first we're going to block all, then we go economic, and we allow all the marble and all the stones that can be used as flux. And we're pretty sure that's all of them. What's dolomite? Is dolomite a flux stone? Does anybody know? Dolomite. It is a flux stone, indeed. So there, those are the 5 flux stones. Those are the ones that are used to make steel, which is awesome. We love steel. So yeah, we're smelting iron, smelting gold. This is exciting. We have any charcoal fuel? It looks like probably the smelters are using so much charcoal that no one's actually got any to spare. Although somebody did just place a bin there. It's empty though, they just placed it. But hopefully soon they'll be throwing some charcoal over there. It may actually be a good idea to add even more wood furnaces. But you know, we don't have the dwarf power. So we're gonna just go with what we got. We're gonna follow this dwarf doing the miraculous task of placing charcoal in the stockpile, and they weren't placing it in the stockpile, they're smelting it. But that's just as good. We actually would benefit from smelting some lower value metals so that we can just make armor out of random stuff. So we'll just make armor out of random stuff, and that will allow our armor dudes to practice their armor crafting, which will then make them good at making armor when it comes time to make our fancy steel. What's black bronze bars? Let us check the wiki. Black bronze. Semi-precious alloy of copper, gold, and silver, but it cannot be used to make weapons and armor. And it says it's smelted only from bars of pure metals, but then in the game it just says make black bronze bars. It doesn't say use bars. Anyway, we're not making black bronze bars. We'll just tell them both to make garnierite, galena, valerite. Make it all. Smelt away, my smelting dwarves. Speaking of ore, let's check on our prospecting. Looks like there's still some designations there. Are the miners mining? One of them is. Why are they storing things? Miners shouldn't store things, should they? That's okay. We'll let them store a bit for now. Oh, hey, we already have an ore stockpile. The things you can do when you forget where you've already made stockpiles. So there's an ore stockpile downstairs, and there's an ore stockpile upstairs. Oh no, there isn't. There's a fuel and a bars. So this is just perfect. We got ore stockpile down here, we got fuel and bars up here, and then we could make another stockpile of finished metal gear. You know, metal gear. But for now, it's going to go just into the everything pile. Yeah, there's a strong temptation to pronounce Metal Gear with a heavy question mark at the end, but that's not going to happen. So, stockpiles. This is food, for some reason empty. This is everything, completely full. Perhaps the bins aren't full though. This is an empty bin, so there's technically space there. If we're not scared of using bins, which we probably should be, but that's fine. We'll just let these dwarves proceed along. This is magnificent. Once they do metal, everything just becomes happy. Yeah, this dwarf is mining away. We've got all kinds of metals being struck. Garnierite, ilmenite. What is ilmenite? Anyone ever heard of ilmenite? It's an unremarkable stone. Okay, so that's why nobody's ever heard of ilmenite. It's not even a metal. There's a weird little minus sign or something there. Phyllite. What's phyllite? Phyllite, my friends, is an unremarkable stone. Okay, we're going to stop looking up every unremarkable stone. But we are going to designate a little more prospecting. So let us do that. These prospecting areas are looking pretty good already. Just add one more. Artfully split in the middle. We've got stairs over here. So they go down here, and then we're just gonna make them go down even more. There's already an upstairs there, which is a bit of a mistake. We shouldn't have made an up-down stair. So we're gonna do, this can be level 5 designation, meaning it's low priority. Downstairs going there, upstairs going here, and then mine out a bit. And then this is our next level of prospecting. Onto the, what is this? The 12th floor. We're looking at the top right corner where it says a number 12. That can't be right. We haven't gone down 12 floors. Anyways, we're some level underground. Feels like about level 3. And we're just gonna give them lots of areas to check out so they can dig as they like to do and find us all the delicious metals for our little teeth to bite into. Now for our metal workers to make into, armor, practice armor, weapons, toys for the children, just anything you could think of. We can even make steel goblets if we're getting very fancy, because dwarfs like to drink out of goblets, but they really like to drink out of steel goblets. At least we like to think they do. Because steel is a fancy and valuable metal, although it's perhaps better used for gear, war gear that is, but sometimes they like the fancy things in life. Like drinking out of a steel goblet. Who wouldn't? Okay, hopefully that's connected. It looks like, they're going with the wheelbarrow. Sweet, look at them go. This wheelbarrow, or her. Up to the stockpile. That is actually something to note. Max wheelbarrow has been increased to 2 there. Anything that's a stone stockpile should have a wheelbarrow assigned to it. So this one has max wheelbarrow of 1. That's probably acceptable. We're going to order another couple wheelbarrows. We'll do that through the manager screen. Queue order wheelbarrow. We can make metal wheelbarrows. That's cool. But we're going to just do wooden wheelbarrows. We'll make 3 more. That's fine. And there they go. Digging around. Oh, let's start some more summer plants. So let's see, what do we got? Celery, purple amaranths, rhubarbs. This one is undecided, so let's make it asparagus. Asparagus, and then we go to each of the seasons, assign asparagus. So we're hitting ADCB and then hitting enter on each one. And if you're watching on YouTube, it's fine, but on Twitch it just cut out. So we'll just put a little pause on it right there for now. Recording has begun, and now it is time to assign the asparagus, or the asparagus is already done. Now it is time to assign the next thing. What's not assigned? Grapevines. So we assign some grapevines, all 4 seasons. And then we have asparagus, celery, grapevines, purple amaranths, and rhubarb. That's 5 things, and there are 5 plots going. So that'll do that for now. The plants are up to date. And we have our first bar of native gold sitting in the stockpile. Ain't that just cool? Strangely, someone's doing something with it. We don't know what they're doing with it, but we're just going to let them do that for now. Eventually, maybe we'll see somebody do a task with it. For it says it has a task active. Oh, no, it doesn't anymore. Okay. Weird. Charcoal is active. Yeah, this fortress is really cooking along now. A masterpiece bucket, wonderful. So if we really want to please those traders, we can make a trap component, and we'd have to make it out of metal. So first let's check what metal we have. Stocks, bars, bars. We have 8 gold, 4 silver, 16 copper, 8 nickel, lead, and a little bit of charcoal. So let's make some copper stuff. We'll start by making some trap components just in case the traders are still here for long enough. And we'll make their favorite thing of all, a large serrated copper disc. Now, hopefully our dwarf will immediately go make a large serrated copper disc. Let's actually say, do it now! Do it now. And then hopefully a dwarf will head over there and make it. That'll be one of our one of our wood burners is actually the Metalcrafter. It might be the Metalcrafter, maybe the Blacksmith. It's hard to remember which one makes the discs. But this can be one of them. And then they'll do that, and then we'll have this beautiful disc that can be used for the wonderful task of trading, basically. And well, that's going to smelt some sphalerite. But, oh goodness, migrants have arrived. Yeah. Okay, wow. It's a little hard to decide. What should we do? Should we watch the migrants, or should we watch the metal production? It's kind of hard to spot the migrants here with this. They're gonna go straight down off the edge there, off this down this hill, and they're gonna disappear from this Z level, so we won't be able to see them. But we'll just, I guess, take it one at a time. So new migrants, we got Dodok, Cathzantir, leather, and what are they good at? Leather, that's it. So that can be our leather crafter. That's a thing. Oh, somebody arrived. What is that, a donkey? A puppy? Oh, it's a dog. Cool. Dogs are good to have. We can train them for war. And then we have another dwarf. What's this one? A miner. A miner. We love miners. Every miner we get just pretty much becomes a miner. Meng Muban Kubuk. A wonderful miner's name. Let's see if they bring their own pickaxe with them. They do. A steel pick. That's good quality. Great kind of pick. And we've got another dwarf. Looks like a leatherworker. Yep, another leatherworker. Eshtan Regothner. This one is adequate as well, so who cares? Maybe one of those leatherworkers can be a leatherworker. This is a sheep. It's a female lamb. And then we've got, what else? A goose, looks like. A keet, so that's a guinea fowl. A baby female guinea fowl. And then is that another leatherworker? Oops. Another leatherworker. We are loaded with leatherworkers. This one's also a miner. A high master leatherworker, though. And a novice metalsmith. And some other stuff. Did they bring a pickaxe too? Let's see. They sure did. Do we make them our resident leatherworker, or do we let them pursue their hobby of pickaxing? That'll probably be a decision for next time. Seagun Gidthurimtar. Leather plus mining. We're taking notes so we can deal with these migrants later. So, resume. There's another not a miner, but an immigrant. This looks like, oh, it's a peasant. Peasants are fun. They could be anything. Bemble Degelstorlut. And since they're a peasant, that means they have no relevant skills, which is fine because they can develop skills over time. What else do we get? Another? Could it be another leatherworker? Oh, this one's a glassmaker, aka a peasant, because glassmaking is not especially useful. But they're also a diagnostician, so that should possibly be our new chief medical dwarf. Actually, our chief medical dwarf's already a novice diagnostician, equal to this one's skill, so that would not be an upgrade. This green dwarf, what is that? Another peasant. Great. We love peasants. Zaglar Bungekber. And what else do we have? Or is that it? That's it. Yeah, no more. No more dwarfs arriving. Cool. Now we go back here. We check if they've completed this task. Not this task, this task. It's not being worked on. Who is our metal smith? Blacksmith? There's two different skills, metalsmith and blacksmith. So, or metal crafting, sorry, and blacksmithing. Sodel and Stodier. Sodel is on making charcoal, and Stodier is also making charcoal. You'd think that they would stop making charcoal. Oh, the merchants have gone, so we don't need this anymore. We'll cancel that. And instead, let's make some copper armor for practice. Just make, what's the most valuable armor? Or perhaps an armor that doesn't take as much materials for practicing? Let's make helms. Make all the copper helms you can. Now we're considering maybe it would be a good idea to make some actual weapons too. Oh, but we only have armor smiths, yeah, so we'll just make copper helms. Don't have a weaponsmith yet. So there you go, we've got somebody making copper. Now, it is curious, where is the copper? Where's the copper? Perhaps we can find it this way. Stocks, bars, copper bars. No, we can't view it this way. One would think it would be in the metal bar stockpile. And one would be wrong because it's not. Is it in the everything stockpile? If the everything stockpile is allowed to hold metal bars, that would be a problem. This one's not. What about this one? Oh, it is. So we got to disable the bars from here. Disable. There, that's better. No more metal bars going into this stockpile, so they can all go into this stockpile and be close to the forges where they belong. Now the next thing we should do is assign the new arrivals. Unfortunately, they've already mixed in, but we've got their names listed, so we can assign them. This is actually a good time for getting new arrivals because we want to engage in some metal production. We want to engage in some military stuff. We can start our military going along. So we're actually going to leave it there for today. And the dwarves are going to have a little rest. That's right. Dwarves need rest too. As you can see, Olon Athabsilob, the herbalist, is having a nap. That's what they all need to do. So for the next stream, next episode, we will be rising up bright and early, letting all the dwarves get to work. All the new immigrants can get tasks assigned. We're going to carve out some beds for them all. That's going to be great, make them very happy. We're just going to unassign this random spot that's been assigned out there, designated. And it appears to be going pretty well. The river's flowing, the dwarves are working, the dogs are running around like crazy. We've got a few things to do. The migrants brought some animals. Those will need to be assigned to a pen. The migrants will need to be assigned to their own pens or jobs. They'll need to have bedrooms carved. We're going to get as much value and work out of these dwarves as we can. No dwarf should be idle, except for when they are idle, because they need some idle time too. So that's it. That's a wonderful place to stop, and if you're watching this, thank you. It's very much appreciated. And hopefully you've enjoyed it too. The dwarfies are happy. So we're going to save the game right there. And you just have yourself a good night, rest of the day, whatever it is for you. And check you later.